Do you feel like you're a short hitter of the golf ball and could be getting more distance out of your swing speed? Do you play with some golf mates and their swings look slower than yours, but somehow they hit the golf ball further? How does that work? So question for you, how far should you hit your golf clubs? Whoa, that's gonna get the egos going. Come on, in the comments down below. How far do you hit, say, your 7-iron and your driver? Comment down below. In this video, I'm going to give you some ideas on how far the average golfer really hit the golf ball. And I'm going to give you one simple golf tip to help you gain a bit more distance. First up, here is the data that you're all after. How far should you be hitting the golf ball? Pause, screenshot this so you can take it all in. This is how far each handicap range hits each golf club on average. And by the way, share this video with your short hitting golf mates just to rub it in a little. Now, obviously there are a number of factors that can determine how far you hit your golf clubs. The length of your clubs. Over the years, clubs have got longer and longer. The lofts of your clubs. Over the years, these have got stronger and stronger. Your age. Unfortunately, the older you get, generally speaking, the slower you're gonna get. And what gender you are. Generally speaking, males hit the golf ball further than what females do. But with all those things considered, what determines how far that golf ball goes when you hit it? Number one, centeredness of strike, where you hit that golf ball on the club face. Number two, swing speed, how fast you swing that golf club when you hit the golf ball. Number three, dynamic loft, what loft you're delivering at impact to that golf ball. Number four, club path and face to path relationship. So are you out to in with an open face? Are you into square to in with a nice square face? Those kind of relationships will have an effect on how far that golf ball goes. And number five, angle of attack, whether you're hitting down, whether you're hitting up on that golf ball. The most common power leak I see in my lessons when it comes to people not hitting their golf ball as far as they should is dynamic loft. So many golfers deliver a high amount of loft when it comes to hitting the golf ball. Generally speaking, and most of the time, delivering a high amount of loft at impact leads to an open face to path, angle of attack and low point issues. And because all of these things are out of sequence and out of time, swing speed is then affected and centeredness of strike is also affected. God damn you, dynamic loft. So how can we improve it and get you hitting your golf clubs and golf ball as far as you should? Check this out. This is my Hack Motion wrist sensor. I'm going to pop this on and this is going to tell us all about my grip, my wrist angles and my forearm rotation. I'm going to hit a couple of shots with this on. One, my normal swing, and then one delivering a high amount of dynamic loft. And let's see the difference in wrist angles. First shot here I'm going to hit is just my normal swing. I've got a 7-iron in my hands, so nothing crazy going on. I'm just going to hit my normal 7-iron. Good strike, well struck shot. Carry 179, launching at 16 degrees. Now let's hit a shot, add in some dynamic loft. Before I hit this shot, obviously I've got the skill to be able to change dynamic loft, but you guys down that lens not hitting the golf ball far enough for your swing speeds, this will be your natural delivery. You'll be adding dynamic loft, not delivering the loft that you're meant to for your swing speed to hit that golf ball as far as you possibly can. So you need to learn this skill of controlling dynamic loft. So this second swing, I'm going to add some dynamic loft and let's see what the difference is in my wrist angles and things as well. So I'm gripping exactly the same as what I did with my normal shot as well. So I've added some loft there on that shot. It's only carried 151 now, and it's launching at 22 degrees. Higher dynamic loft delivered, loss of distance, higher launch and trajectory. So let's take a look at the difference between my standard shot and then adding dynamic loft, and the differences between my wrist angles. So let's start with flexion and extension. So first of all, at address, I have 42 degrees of extension in my lead hand. And I also have minus 22 degrees of ulnar deviation as well. Flexion, extension, ulnar, radial. When I get to the top of my swing, I start to lose some extension. So it goes from 42 degrees down to 28. And then when I get to impact, I lose it even more, down to 14 degrees of extension. So my wrist has started pretty cupped. And as my swing gradually works throughout its backswing and then in the downswing to impact, I lose extension from 42 degrees down to 14. Ulnar deviation starts at minus 22. At the top of my swing, I go into radial. And then when I get back down to impact, I go more into ulnar, down to 38 degrees. Let's compare that to the shot where I added dynamic loft, lost distance, and the launch angle went up. 42 degrees of extension at the start of my swing, exactly the same as my normal swing. At the top, I went into more extension, so not taking any out, I added more extension into my lead wrist, and by the time I got back to impact, I didn't take as much extension out of my lead wrist. 42 degrees of extension, added a bit more by the time I got to the top of my swing, and then didn't take out enough of this by the time I got back to impact. At the start of my swing, I started with a little bit more ulnar deviation. At the top, I went into radial again, and then by impact, I went back down into ulnar, but I didn't go into as much ulnar compared to my normal swing. And why is that? The more I go into extension with my lead wrist, the easier it is to go into radial. More extension, easier to go into radial. If I go into flexion, it's harder to go into radial, whereas it's a lot easier to go into ulnar. So in my normal swing, where I'm starting to take loft off of this club and deliver lower loft, I'm going more towards flexion. I'm not quite in it with my stronger grip. And because I'm going more towards flexion, again, not in it, it's easier to get more into ulnar. And that's what you guys have got to get good at if you're struggling with distance. Get good at controlling your lead wrist to then deliver the correct dynamic loft at impact. I promise you, you get good at dynamic loft, you'll get good at changing face to paths, angle of attack, everything you need to hit that golf ball further. The magic is in your wrists, people. Whether you concentrate on your lead wrist to achieve this, or whether it's thinking about the club face and looking at where it's pointing, those kind of ideas is totally down to you. And how much you need to play around with wrist angles is totally dependent on what grip you have on the golf club. A weaker grip compared to a stronger grip is going to require completely different wrist angles throughout your swing to achieve the same results. So please bear that in mind. And remember, if you're a weak gripper of the golf club, one knuckle showing at address, you're going to have to move towards flexion and get this bowed looking wrist. If you're two knuckles, sort of a standard neutral grip, you're going to go towards a flat lead wrist and maybe into a bit of flexion. If you're a strong gripper of the golf club like me, 3-4 knuckles showing, you're going to go towards flexion. But like me, I'm still in extension when I hit the golf ball because of that strong grip and that placement on the golf club at address. Not everyone is going to have to go into flexion and look like DJ. It depends on what grip you put on the golf club. But every golfer is going to have to take extension out, move towards flexion or even into flexion if you want to start taking that dynamic loft off of the golf ball and start hitting your golf clubs further than what you do. I hope that helps you understand why potentially you might not be hitting it as far as what you should do. In the comments down below, are wrist angles something that you already think about in your golf swing, or is this a new concept for you? It is talked about a lot in golf, so get skilled at controlling your wrist angles, which then helps you control that dynamic loft which will have an effect on face to paths, strikes, distance, speed, all the juicy stuff to help you hit that golf ball further. I hope that helps you understand distance, why potentially you might not be getting as much distance as what you should for your swing speed. I hope that helps you gain some extra yards, and thanks all for watching. And by the way, if you're new to the channel and not subscribed and you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button. And returning viewers, hit that big red subscribe button as well, because you're obviously enjoying the content. Thanks all for watching. Hit the thumbs up, turn your bell on as well. Thanks all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.